Hi, I'm Sean Liverman, Senior Business Development Executive with the Medical Society of Virginia Insurance Agency. I'm joined today by Carolyn Godby, Senior Vice President of the agency. So Carolyn, let's talk about prior acts coverage and retroactive dates. These are terms that we find associated with the claims made policy form. How does prior acts coverage relate to the retroactive dates on the policy?
The retroactive date can sometimes be referred to as the prior acts date. Prior acts coverage is when a claims-made policy goes back in time to cover medical incidents that took place in the past. How far back in time the policy will go is determined by the retroactive date identified in the policy.
So what establishes the retroactive date?
Most often, it's the date the physician began in private practice. It's important to note, however, that a retroactive date is specific to each insured and it is identified in the policy itself.
So could this date ever change?
It can change under unusual or special circumstances, such as moving from one state to another, but under normal circumstances, the date should never change from one policy to the next. If it changes without the protection of a reporting endorsement, commonly referred to as a tail endorsement, a gap in coverage will result.
So physicians should be aware that if the retroactive date changes from one policy to the next, they should purchase a tail endorsement on the policy they are leaving, correct?
Yes. This is where the reporting period or tail endorsement comes into play. A tail endorsement is purchased to cover the period that's between the previous retroactive date and the new retroactive date.
Are there other reasons a tail policy might be needed?
Yes, let's think about this situation. We know under a claims-made form, a physician must have an in-force policy to report claims. So how will physicians protect themselves for their past activities once they retire or stop working?
Oh, good question. Do they have to keep buying professional liability then year after year to keep coverage in force, or is that where a tail endorsement comes in again?
Yes, the tail endorsement attaches to the final policy and is where any future claims from the medical incidents that occurred between the retroactive date on the policy and the date the physician retired are reported.
For how long?
In standard markets, usually indefinitely, but in non-standard markets, it can vary. There are other provisions that can vary too.
What other things should a physician investigate regarding tail provisions?
Check to see if the tail endorsement is free at retirement and if there's an age requirement. Also, companies may require a physician to be insured with them for a certain period of time before the tail is free at retirement. Plus, it's a good idea to ask for an estimated cost should a tail need to be purchased.
So I think it's clear from this discussion that reporting endorsement provisions are not standardized between the companies.
Correct. Always investigate this important policy provision before making a company change.
For more information on the differences between occurrence and claims-made policies, and to determine which one is a fit for you, contact the Medical Society of Virginia Insurance Agency.